Guys, welcome back to my original channel, the exotic frequency channel. I've been trying to make content for my other channel and for my TikTok as well. I've been trying to cover a variety of topics, trying to take a break from all the the big V, let's just call that, and all this kind of stuff is it can drive you kind of off the rails. I feel like every single day the story is changing, and you can get lost in all this information, so you gotta kind of have that discernment and wisdom through it all, right? I came across this interview. It was on the gerbil. It's quite the name. Yeah. Dr. Robert Malone, he's been on a lot of podcasts and a lot of other, a lot of people have interviewed him as of today's date, August 31st. I've watched him, I forget what the channels were called, but I've watched him so many times, and he always has the exact same message. For those of you who don't know, he's the inventor of the mRNA technology that's being used for the, um, I know he might have like a team of people that helped him make that, but he hasn't yet received his own technology. Let's call it that. I'm trying to be careful with my code words here because I don't want to get uh, you know too shit canned by YouTube here, but basically, he at this timestamp or around this timestamp, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna try to keep this video short and to the point. He basically says, uh, you know, he says something that maybe you guys don't want to hear. For those of you who have received the so I'm gonna play this video. I'm pretty sure that's the timestamp here, so.
There's other problems also. The original dossiers that were submitted to the FDA were woefully lacking. I'm shocked that they got through. I've spoken to Peter Marks about this, he acknowledges that he now has more information than he had before. I don't know why they're holding off, but they did say in their original authorization letter for emergency use last December with Pfizer, they specifically called out antibody-dependent enhancement as a risk, and they said that they didn't have sufficient information at that time to evaluate it, and they suggested that clinical trials be performed, but they didn't mandate that they be performed to detect this. Yeah. To my eye, the trials were designed to not detect antibody-dependent enhancement, a known chronic problem with all prior coronavirus vaccine developments.
They were mocking and ridiculing people like Dr. Malone, even when he came on the show earlier this week and really laid out what the truth was. The headline today is, "Immunized people can spread virus," the CDC reports. And that was all supposed to be conspiracy theory up to the last few days. I want to go, Dr. Malone, Dr. Navarro, I'd like to read the second paragraph of this, have you respond. "The vaccines remain powerfully effective against severe illness and death, and the CDC said infections in vaccinated people were comparatively rare. But the revelations follow a series of other recent findings about the Delta variant that have upended scientists' understanding of the coronavirus." I find that an incredible admission, Dr. Malone, and I would like to ask you, when you hear a phrase, recent findings about the Delta variant that have upended scientists' understanding of the coronavirus, what was the understanding of the scientists at the CDC and inside the government that have been upended by this, sir?
So the belief was that this vaccine was perfectly protective and perfectly safe. That's been the party line. Yet we've known all along that this is what's called a leaky vaccine. It protects in the range of 50 to 70% against infection and spread. But if you get infected, you still replicate and you still spread to other people. Now this is clearly laid out. This is one of the bombshells in the new CDC deck. They show a bunch of graphs and they show about the effects of universal masking. They kind of tweak the data, but what it shows is that this vaccine cannot protect us from rampant ongoing spread of Delta, no matter how much you vaccinate. We can't get there because the reproductive coefficient is about the same as chickenpox. It's really high, and it's in the range of 8. And the
Okay, so basically, you heard the term leaky vaccine. Uh, that I mean, this is kind of old. This interview, it was, yeah, about a month ago, but that's a very interesting term he just used, right? And it's disturbing because um, we are, well, I live in Canada, right? So in Canada, they are mandating this. Soon it'll probably be mandated everywhere, which doesn't make any sense. He says somewhere in this interview, I don't know the timestamp, but he basically says that you can't vaccinate yourself out of the pandemic. That's exactly what all governments around the world are trying to do. So, it's really strange. I think I might have used a code word, darn it, but whatever. um, so, uh, yeah, you and again, you have other doctors, like smaller channels, like Montgomery Health and Wellness, basically that are saying there are studies coming out saying that natural immunity in the long term might be better than artificial or the what immunity. So there's a lot of stuff coming out now. I think that people need to look into. This is a more recent upload, I think, by this guy. I think this was just a few days ago. Not sure why it's showing the not it's not showing the date there, but yeah. Basically, you know, I think we're approaching everything wrong. And if you want, this is the channel. You can look up this channel yourself and watch this interview. It's actually a really good interview. It's one of the better ones I've seen. And I think it's about time that I made a video about Dr. Malone. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. If you haven't, again, he's the inventor behind the technology in the what, and some of the stuff he says is just uh, I can't even find the word. It's just I nothing to me makes sense about anything that's happening. So unless it's related to the stuff I talked about in my past videos, which I can't say because of the code words that YouTube, you can't say certain things now. So, and I don't really, I want this content to get out there. I want, like, this is what my main channel is focused on. It's just about, it's, I've, I've always tried to reveal stuff on this channel, try to get the information so you guys don't have to look to, like you don't have to look it up yourself, right? But you can decide for yourself on what you want to do. Don't listen to me, some random guy. This is just my opinion, and every time someone tells me or asks me when am I getting I uh, I just tell them, I just tell them I gotta speak to my doctor, and I need more data. Like, Dr. Malone always says that, and I think that the FDA approved the what on old data. I think I mentioned that in my last video. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna keep this really short. Give this interview a watch. It's a great interview. You know, um, I don't want to take too much of your time, and I need to get started on my next video for my other channel. So I'm gonna be switching gears here. Take care, guys, and stay safe. Goodbye now.